सर मु रिकॉर्डिंग ऑन कर देली पिला आसले क्लास करिवे आ कटिवेनी कारण मु सेपटे
हाँ
आ
ठीक
गोटे क्लास रे अछि सर।
हाँ ना ठीक अच्छे पिला आसंतु।
सर रहल सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार। ठीक है। That's it. Lecker. That's really wonderful. Hello, Akshay Kumar. Raut.
Sir, namaskar sir.
Namaskar. You are from କୋଉଠୁ କହୁଛ?
ନୟାଗଡ଼ରୁ sir.
ନୟାଗଡ଼। ଶିକ୍ଷକ ଅଛ ପ୍ରାଇମେରୀ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir.
କୋଉ ସ୍କୁଲ?
ଆମର sir ରଣପୁର ଅଛି, ନୟାଗଡ଼ ରଣପୁର ବ୍ଲକ।
ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ରଣପୁର।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି ଗାଁ ବାଣିକିଲ ବୋଲି ସେଇଠି।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା। ଏଇ କଣ କେତେ ଜଣ ଅଛନ୍ତି ପିଲା ଏଥିର ଓପନ୍ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଏଜୁକେସନରେ ଜାଣିଛ ନା?
ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ସାର୍ ମୋର ବି ନାହିଁ, ମୁଁ କହିଲି କ୍ଲାସ ଥିଲା ତ ଟିକେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିବା ଶୁଣିବା କଣ କେମିତି।
ଓହୋ ତମ ନାହିଁ, ଅନ୍ୟ କାହିଁ ପିଲା କାହାନ୍ତି?
ପିଲା କେହି ଜଏନ୍ ହେଇନାହାନ୍ତି ସାର୍।
ନା କେହି ତମେ ଦେଖିଲେ ପ୍ରଥମ ଆଉ କ୍ଲାସ ରୁମ୍ ଓପନ୍ ହେଇଛି
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଦେଖିଲ।
ଆସରେ 10-15 ଜଣ ପିଲା ଜଏନ୍ କରୁଥିଲେ ଆମର ରେଗୁଲାର କ୍ଲାସ ଯୋଉ ହଉଥିଲା।
ଓହୋ ଯୋଉ ମାନେ ଜେନା ପେପରରେ?
ଅଲଗା ପେପରରେ କମ୍ପଲସରି ପେପର ଗୁଡା।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା।
ଆମ ସାର୍ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ସେୟାର କରିଦଉଛି, କୋଉମାନେ ସବୁ ଜଏନ୍ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି ଜଏନ୍ କରିବେ।
ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଓପନ୍ ଏଜୁକେସନ ଓପନ୍ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍। ଆମର ସାର୍ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ଗାଇଡାନ୍ସକୁ ଆଉ ଆଇଟି ବେଶ୍ ପିଲା ରହିଯାଇଛନ୍ତି।
ହଁ ଗାଇଡାନ୍ସ ଆସିଲା, ହଁ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଯାହା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍। ପିଲାମାନେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିବା କଥା କିଏ ହେଲେ?
ଦେଖିଏ ସ୍କୁଲ ଯାଇଥିବେ କି ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ନାହିଁ। କମ ପିଲା ତ 10-15ଟା 20ଟା ଖଣ୍ଡେ ପିଲା ଥିବେ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଓପନରେ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ତେଣୁ ଆସିନଥିବି କି? 6ଟା ହେଲାଣି କାହିଁ ମୁଁ ଖୋଲିକି ବସିଛି। ମୁଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
5ଟା 50ରୁ ଖୋଲିଲିଣି, देखली के ना पुणी फोन कली हाँ सर पिला लेट आस 6:05-7 को आसी देखा तुम तुम जहाँ जड़े कि देखा तुम भी ना डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन
सर नथिले भी माने क्लास टा कले किछ असुविधा
हाँ
नहीं
किछ सेटा इंटरेस्ट भलो ना जार थाउची सेटा आसुनी
आज्ञा सर जानिबा कथा सब कथा सर टिके ना
हाँ हाँ जाने इनक्विजिटिवनेस उचित
आज्ञा सर मु पिला मेसेज करूची टिके
कर देल देखा
आज्ञा सर
साई गायत्री गायत्री
सॉरी सर सर नमस्कार
नमस्कार कौन बोल
सर केन्द्रापड़ा
केन्द्रापड़ा तुम कौन ओपन डिस्टेंस एग्जाम नहीं तो अपना
आज्ञा सर सेकेंड ईयर कंटिन्यू चलची टीचर भी
ना
अच्छी
नहीं तुम ओपन एंड डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन ऑप्शनल नहीं तो ना कौन नहीं तो
यस सर आज्ञा
अच्छा आउट गाइडेंस
आज्ञा
हां ठीक अछि आर शिक्षयित्री
आज्ञा सर आज्ञा
को केन्द्रापड़ा कोठी
सर आली ब्लॉक रो केन्द्रापड़ा रा आली आज्ञा
आली ब्लॉक अच्छा
आज्ञा
शुभश्री मलिक शुभश्री वेलकम शुभश्री 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 शुभस्मिता अरे शुभश्री
नमस्कार सर नमस्कार
नमस्कार नमस्कार तुम कार्तिक शुभति अच्छा तुम सब अच्छी ओपन एंड डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन शुभश्री हेलो शुभस्मिता शुभुत शुभश्री कौन साई गायत्री
आज्ञा सर
हाँ ठीक है
आज्ञा सर
नहीं मैंने कहा हाँ तुम ओपन एंड डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन ऑप्शन अछि तो
आज्ञा
हाँ ठीक है एकदम चाहूँ हाँ ठीक अच्छे लेट कर दो स्कूल आसला कौन स्कूल 7:30 आसु मोनालिसा मोनालिसा एम आई ऑडिबल मोनालिसा
यस सर
हाँ तुम कौन डिस्टेंस ओपन डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन अच्छी तो ऑप्शनल सेकेंड ईयर ओके आरंभ करवा 4 जन हेलो 1 2 3 4 ना अपेक्षा कर अन्य क्या आसवे केते जन पिला नहीं जानिछ कि ओपन एंड डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन केते पिला नहीं जानिछ ना
नहीं सर आइडिया
ठीक अच्छे आरंभ करवा
आज्ञा सर आज्ञा
I welcome you all to the evening session. Good evening to you all. I do hope that you are all BEd second year students of IGNU, and as an optional paper you have opted this paper. The title of the paper is Open and Distance Education, and this open and distance education, as you know, education has become democratized. Democratization of education has given a different shape to the shape of education. So all are to be educated, and one of the possibility through which, when the formal system of education fails to give education to all, then our open and distance education is an alternative system which can help us. And this course, that is BES-131, that is open and distance education, has 4 blocks. And in each block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, in each block there are 4 units in each block. How many blocks? 4 blocks. In each block there are 4 units. So total this open and distance education has 16 units. For example, block 1, that is, the title is Open and Distance Education Genesis and Evolution. Block 2 is about teaching at a distance, design and development of open distance education resources. Then block 3, learner support services in open and distance education. The last block, 4th block, is about planning and management of open distance education. How many blocks? 4 blocks. In each block there are 4 units, and total 4 blocks into 4 is equal to 16 units. The first block is about open and distance education. Its genesis and evolution. How did it start? What is the origin? Therefore, it deals with the historical developments, foundations in our Indian national experiences. All these are policy perspective. All these are talked about in your first block of BESE 131. Similarly, in block 2, that block 2 is about teaching at a distance, because the teacher is separated from the learner. Now you are in Kendrapada, you are in Ali, you are in Baripada somewhere, but the teacher is somewhere, but there is a linkage. So that therefore teaching is at distance. Then if teaching will be at a distance, then what are the different designs or different resources that can help us in the process of learning? So therefore it deals with designing SLMS, self-learning materials, and technology for OD, open and distance education. Therefore, all these are discussed in block 2 in nutshell. We will discuss in detail. Similarly, in block 3, a discussion has been made in a threadbare manner on learner support services. Learner is the hallmark of open and distance education system. The learner and the teacher, they are physically separated. In the normal classroom situation, the teacher is there in front of students. But here, we are not physically, we are physically separated. So therefore, what kind of support services will be provided to the learners so that they can clarify their doubts, they can understand what is written in the self-initial material. So therefore, what are the different assessment strategies? How the comments given in the assignment help the learner to do further better. So all these are talked about in block 3. In block 4, whatever the learning processes is going on in the distance system, it requires some kind of management, coordination, administration. The other name of the other terminologies used for management is administration of the organization or coordination of the different tasks of the organization. Why? So that the goal of the organization can be effectively and efficiently achieved. So therefore, that necessitates some kind of planned organization, planning of activities. So therefore, a kind of discussion has been undertaken in the last block to talk about how to organize the different activities of the open and distance education system. How can we make a coordination, healthy, not only simply coordination, a healthy coordination among the different tasks, among the different activities, so that the system can run effectively and smoothly. This is all about in the totality of your BESE 131, that is open and distance education. This is the overview of open and distance education. Now, let us come to today. We will discuss about the first block, block 1. There are 4 blocks. We will be meeting with each other 4 days. I mean, 4 दिन देखा आलोचना करिबा. Every day 1 block in nutshell. Every day 1 block. So within 4 days we can cover. It will be possible to cover 4 blocks. So today we'll discuss the block 1. What is that block 1? The title is Open and Distance Education, Genesis and Evolution. Genesis means origin, the background, the backdrop. And once it is started, for example, what is the beginning of your distance education or open education? That is correspondence education. We have been educated through formal education. This is a kind of non-formal situation. Why? Those who are working, like you, those who are working, but they want to pursue higher education. They want to become professionally competent. So education is there. That is your IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University provides for higher education. Similarly, those who want to pursue their your matriculation, that is 10th class, something like that, or 11th class, 12th class, they have left the school from class 5, but they want further, they want to upgrade their knowledge. So therefore, we have NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling, open school. So now you can join that because you are working somewhere else and also you want to further your education, you want to improve yourself. So therefore, we have NIOS, NIOS, National Institute of Open Education. Anyhow, now that open education, distance education, as it has today, it was not earlier like that. Now it is gradually improving, it is gradually evolving. So that has been talked about in this block 1. That block 1 has already, I have told you, each block has 4 units. 4 blocks, 4, 16 units. Now let us focus on block 1. Block 1, 4 units. What are the 4 units? Number 1, unit 1 is historical development. What is the history behind this distance education? How has it been originated? In unit 2, theoretical foundation. What are the different theories which talk about distance and open education? There are different theories we'll discuss. And what are in unit 3, what is the Indian experience at our national level? What are the different provisions, practices which we have in India? That has been talked about in gist. This is national level. Internationally, globally. So what is the scenario of open and distance education? So therefore, all these have been discussed in the 4 units. Let us come to the first unit. The title of the first unit is historical development. Historical development of what? Historical development of whose? Historical development of open and ODA, open and distance OD, open and distance education. Already I have told you, the beginning part of your open and distance education was correspondence education. We'll talk in third minute. For the timing, let me clarify you. What is the basic difference between correspondence education and open learning discussion? In correspondence education, mostly printed materials. Those printed materials, what you call book, it is SIM. SIM, self-instructional material. These self-instructional material, just like books, have been prepared by the experts. Those are sent to the students because they will read they will manage their reading at their own pace, at their own place. So therefore, correspondence, that means through postal dispatch. Your home is Kendrapada. Now your the correspondence in work, for example, Utkal University. Now, once you have been admitted into the course, your relevant documents, relevant papers, relevant materials were sent to your home through postal, through the process of postal process. But in case of, that is the only medium. But in case of distance and open education, we have that uses multimedia. Print is one. For example, teleconferencing. For example, your video recording. For example, your expert opinion, interview. There are different, besides printed material, some other technology are used. So multimedia, we'll discuss. But the beginning part of your open and distance education was your correspondence education. Now, this correspondence education took its formal shape in Bath, England in 1840, when Isaac Pitman started offering his courses in shorthand via the new penny post regarding shorthand, how to type, how like that. That was the history, because those people who are engaged in other work, they have their home address. So now it was through correspondence, through letter writing, through postal system, it was there. With the establishment of Open University of UK in 1969 and followed by establishment of open universities in different countries across the world, distance education grew. So this is how from correspondence education we are coming towards open education. If you look worldwide, you can find the creation of first open university in the world was in 1969 in UK, that is Keynes. That was the major development. So for the first time in the UK it was there, open university. Now this open university, in case of in the open university system, the entry is open entry, multimedia. These are the characteristics of open education. Open entry. For example, you know or do not know? I do not know. For example, in our formal system, you have not passed metric, 10th class. So therefore, you will not be able to get a seat in the +2 because you are not a 10th class pass student. But in case of our open education system, whether you have passed matriculation or do not, you can take admission into directly to +3 graduation course. But you have to appear the exam. We have to appear the one of the entrance test, that is BPP, Bachelor of Preparatory Program. So a student who has not passed matriculation, 10th class, he can take admission into +3 bachelor program, provided if that student has succeeded in the Bachelor of Preparatory Program. So this is how open entry. But that open and flexibility. Open entry is not in our formal system. If you have passed matriculation, then +2. If you have passed +2, then you can +3. If you have passed +3, then you can do PG. But that doesn't happen in case of our open. Open. It also, in terms of why it is open, there is no boundary. We have classroom in the formal, we have classroom, we have teacher, we have like that rigid timetable. That is not happening in case. For example, now you are attending classes from 6 to 8. Either any school, formal school, where the classes start from in the evening? No, from 10 to 4. Usual. Because the basic premise is that those who are the open learner, distance learners, they are doing something, either physical work, either mental work, either on the job, or they have stopped the work, the reading, that they can continue. So this is these are the reasons for which we are thinking of open education. Anyhow, open entry, multimedia-based teaching, learning, credit system. For example, in now also in formal system it is going on. For example, you are doing +3. through the IGNOU, Open University. First year you have clear. Then in the second year, you have left and you have joined a clerical job, for example. Now after 2 years, you came back and they said, no, I will do the second year also. That credit is there, the mark is there, grade is there. After 2 years, 3 years, when you come back, you will appear the examination, that credit will be transferred. That is there in your open education system. Like that. The American experience of distance education. So I have told you to UK experience. We are talking about globally. American system of experience. I'll give 1 or 2 examples. The American experience of distance education reveals a different picture. It is variously named. What are the different names given to open education? Home study, external study, correspondence study. Sometimes in some countries, open education is otherwise known as education without walls. There is no wall, classroom wall. Education in the sky, in the air, like that. So the same thing. Similarly, in Australia, you can find the reason behind the opening of distance education in Australia is because of the popularization of distance education. So like that. Similarly, there are different models it has been talked about. Because time is not there, I would cover. But basic ideas I will give you. The model assumes that all faculty 20%, because when the people are working and they want to pursue their education, so distance education, existing rules and regulations are not, for example, the rules and regulations, they are not permitting you to continue. For example, you are working as a teacher. If you want to pursue your education in Noyagad, somebody was from Noyagad, okay, Ranapur. If you want to continue in Ranapur College, would your principal of Ranapur allow you? No. Because 75% attendance. You have to attend the classes, but you are working. So therefore it is not possible. These are the different regions. Similarly, there are many regions you can read, you can understand. So either correspondence course or then we call it open and distance education from different angles we have talked about. Similarly, let us come to our India national view, Indian experience. In India, distance education system originated at the university level and moved toward the school education. For the first time in Andhra, after Delhi, Andhra government. This course, the distance education background can be traced to the 50s. In 1950s or 48, 50, after your independence, we can have like that. Now, what for we have started in India? What for we have started thinking of open and distance education? That has been talked about. In the University of Delhi was the first one to introduce correspondence course as a pilot project in 62. So pilot project means let us experiment to what extent it can be successful. Pilot project anyhow. Now, what are the basic objectives of your correspondence education? For example, it is given students who had to discontinue their formal education. That means you have left, you are not continuing in the formal education, then correspondence. Students in geographically remote areas. For example, you are far away in the hilly area, you are far away from the school. It is not possible to come to a school or college. Therefore, correspondence education. Like that, these are given, you can read out. For example, this was correspondence education. But for the first time in India, distance education came in Andhra. So the government of Andhra Pradesh took initiative and established a state open university in 25th May 1982. This is the history. So it is not correspondence education. Correspondence education early 50s. But so far as your distance as open university is concerned, in 1982 May, 25th May in Andhra it has come. Now it is known as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Andhra. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Now, you are all the students of IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, in the name of Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India. Do you know in which year it started? In 85. Because of the government GOI, Government of India's initiative. So during January 1985, the Union government, made a policy statement for establishment of a national open university. Therefore, the Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi talked about that. IGNOU came into existence on 20th September 1985. That means 40 years back. Now this is 2025. That is 15. So the history dates back. The history of IGNOU dates back 45 years back, like that. Now at present, the number of open education system, we call it dual mode and single mode. What is that dual mode and single mode? Single mode means only correspondence education or non-formal education or formal education. Dual mode means open education and traditional education, correspondence education or open education and traditional education, formal and non-formal, like that. Nowadays, like that. Now, when the government of India has taken up the initiative to establish the Open University in the name of Mrs. Indira Gandhi National Open University in 1985. Now, what are the policy perspective in India? For example, what makes the government to think of this Open University? Let us see. Indian Education Commission, 1964-66, under the chairmanship of Kothari, Daulat Singh Kothari. He was the then chairman of UGC. Originally, he was a professor of physics, but later on he became the chairman of your UGC and he was heading. So he has suggested, this commission has suggested for the correspondence education, like that. It has been given. Then similarly, University Grants Commission give the guideline of University Grant UGC, University Grants Commission has talked about. For example, it said the objective of correspondence. This is how they are talking about correspondence, not exactly open education, distance education, but this is the basic idea. The objective of correspondence education is to provide an alternative method of education to enable a large number of persons with necessary aptitude to acquire further knowledge. If we are interested to have more knowledge, then correspondence education. Therefore, we have talked about establishment of IGNOU. Then, IGNOU was established in 1985. But we had the National Education Policy in 1986. And that National Education Policy 86 also reiterated the concept of open education, establishment of correspondence education, establishment of open education. Why? For lifelong education. Education is to be given, one has to get educated throughout his life, from birth to death, from your cradle to grave. Therefore, you cannot say that I have done my B.Ed, I have done my B.A, I have done my M.A, so my education is over. No. Throughout every experience is a kind of education. So therefore, for that lifelong education, the possibility is your open education system. This has been talked about. Consequent upon the establishment of IGNOU for open education or distance education, then it has been talked about to start systematically to give a proper shape. Then there was a distance education council, and it was established in May 1991. So why this council? The basic purpose is the promotion, coordination, and determining some standard. What should be the, if we have the open education system, distance education system, what standards? If the standard is not maintained in distance education, then people say, oh, formal education standard is better than distance education system. Therefore, parity will be maintained. No one can say the education through or any course through IGNOU or any course through open education is low standard. No. Therefore, this council, distance education council, has taken care of that. Similarly, establishment of a network of open universities. So how that distance open university work? You must have heard, you must have some idea. You are the students of RC IGNOU Bhubaneswar. IGNOU RC Regional Center Bhubaneswar. In Odisha, there are 3. One is IGNOU RC Angul, Bhubaneswar is the first one, Koraput, 3 RC. All over India, there are many regional centers. Through those regional centers, the courses are offered, examination is conducted, evaluation assessment is done, and ultimately all the records, all the things regarding assessment goes to your IGNOU Moidanagadi, headquarters New Delhi Moidanagadi. There are many schools. For example, School of Education, your evaluation section, there are many sections. They are working. So therefore, that council had talked about like that. Now you know that also the concept of open education or distance education has been well said by your National Knowledge Commission. Can anyone of you tell me who are the chairman of NKC, National Knowledge Commission? He was from Odisha. The chairman of National Knowledge Commission, that was in 2006 to 2009. He was Mr. Sam Pitroda from Baripada, Moribond. Sam Pitroda, he was the chairman. And he says, knowledge is exploding. There is the explosion of knowledge, not only explosion of population, there is explosion of knowledge. To accommodate to the new arena of knowledge. So therefore he talks about compendium of knowledge, different 5 dimensions of knowledge. So therefore, if one is to be knowledgeable, so knowledge is to be made access, then it will be used, it will be applied, something like that. Therefore, open and distance education can help us. So see how it is gradually we are giving more emphasis on distance education. Then Distance Education Bureau was established in 2012 to make the functions of distance education more professional. Similarly, a report of the Committee for Evolution of New Education Policy 2016 also gave emphasis on distance education. Then, on the basis of all these recommendations or all these stress, it is found that the perspective of the distance education or open education is very bright. So the future perspective of distance education or open education is quite illuminating. So therefore, the government started thinking of how to increase the number of such institutions, number of giving more access to the students or workers or the service holders. So therefore, this has been talked about. And the basic reason for distance education, that is rational. The basic reason for thinking of distance education may be the problem of growing numbers. For example, maybe schools, maybe colleges, maybe universities. The number of students expecting more education, maybe primary, elementary, maybe secondary, maybe college, maybe university, is high, is more. But the number of universities, colleges, schools to accommodate the number of aspirants was not more. ପିଲାମାନେ ପାଠ ପଢିବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଅଛନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ସିଟ୍ ମିଳୁନି କାହିଁକି କଲେଜ ନାହିଁ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ନାହିଁ ସ୍କୁଲ ନାହିଁ So those who want, for example, I get third class in +2, but I want +3, but no seat is there. Fail third class below seat double. So now we cannot, because we have said everybody is to educate. Education for all. Education is everyone's cup of tea. So therefore, so when the number of students is more and the colleges, university or formal institutions are have failed to accommodate, then alternative is your open education. So it is because of the limited access to education by formal education, our non-formal education like IGNO or open education has come. Quality of education. For example, when the number, for example, nowadays you know that there are different self-financing BEd colleges. The students have given 50,000 per year, but hardly classes are taken up, no practicum, something less important, something like that. Only degree is given. The students, the trainees are not getting that kind of adequate knowledge to become a teacher in future. So quality is hampering. Therefore, when the number of students expecting education and the formal institution has failed, then it will affect quality. So therefore, second alternative is our open education. Relevance of education. Education is relevant. Education is everyone's in everyday life. If you are not educated, so you will you cannot do your work properly. Therefore, it has been properly told by Eliot that education is not the filling of a pail. Pail means bucket. Filling. प्रत्येक पिलांकर शरीरटा गोटे ये माने बकेट नुह बाल्टी नुह खाली ज्ञान पढ़े भर्ती कर but is not filling up but igniting, that is firing the brain, firing the imagination. So education inspires you, education ignites your imagination, spooling munda bhitar spooling jalevo. That means therefore your horizon of thinking will be more. Now, in table 1, state and union territory in terms of literacy rate, it is given. You can go through. I will not go to that. Therefore, our education system, formal education system, has failed to accommodate the different number of the different categories of learners at different corners. Therefore, the quality of education has been deteriorated. For example, the number of teachers accommodated, the number of teachers to accommodate the large number of students may not be enough. Now, you may see in high schools, this is my experience, in most of the high schools, forget about the town areas, metropolitan cities, you talk about the remote areas, no science teacher, but science students are reading science from the textbook. Sanskrit teacher is teaching English. There are some upgraded high school. This is not exaggeration. So if that is there, then what quality you expect? So therefore, quality will be affected. Then relevant, the kind of education which has been given by the formal system may not be relevant. Relevant means whatever the student wants to get through education, that is not available. Also, sometimes the cost is very high. Therefore, the student is not in a position to afford the money. So therefore, you cannot say that education is for the only those for the rich. Therefore, in a democratic country like ours, we cannot say no to education, no to education to anyone. Therefore, education should be provided to all. Also, there is, if you see the different regions, for example, northern region of India, southern region of India, western, you will find a gap in there is disparity. Some region is high, some regions have higher literacy rate, while other regions have low literacy rate. So this disparity. Similarly, social and gender disparity. Social means SC students, ST students, general students, there is discrepancy in achievement, in your access, in your enrollment, in your retention, in different areas. Similarly, boys, disparity in gender, boys, girls. So many times here and there, we have been talking about the dropouts among the girls is more than the dropouts among the boys, because most of the parents are indifferent towards the education of girls. Like that. So these are the different situations where our open and distance education can help us. This is all about, in nutshell, the first unit 1, historical perspective. Then let us come to the theoretical foundation. What are the theories behind that distance education? Already I have told you, distance education is a kind of education where the learner is independent, where there is physical separation between the teacher and learner, and it is a system of education which makes use of multimedia technology, multimedia. So now, on the basis of these major premises, different authors have defined according to their own understanding of the concept. For example, Wedemeyer, Wedemeyer, he said, so he used the term open learning, distance education, and independent study. So he defines distance education in terms of independent study. Why it is independent? That means the learner is not depending on the teacher. The learner can manage, for example, in case of formal system, the student is reading the books, and whenever the student has some problem, he can ask the teacher. But here, this is not your book. The materials which have been given to you, that is your SIM, SIM, self-instruction material. Means this is the material which can instruct you and you can manage. That means no need of teacher. Only 4 or 5 the teacher will talk. Rest of the things you can manage. You can read the material and you can understand it. Why? The material is written in that way. It is just like talking. Whatever the teacher says, the book is the material is written like that, so that you can find, oh, I am interacting with my teacher. So the student is independent. He can proceed according to his own way. For example, I will not go to school from 10 to 4. I can read at midnight. I can read as and when I find convenient. So therefore, it is written. Independent study consists of various forms of teaching, learning, arrangement. It is like that. It has been told. Similarly, Murray, he talked about the distance education, explains characteristic feature of distance education. According to Murray, distance teaching may be defined as the family of instruction method. Why it is family of instruction material methods? Not only one method. For example, as I am using or you are using only lecture method or textbook method, but it is a family of instruction method. Maybe you are using Getty method, 5E model, or icon model, or your print media, or your video, or your teleconferencing, or telephone. You are, as a teacher, you are using all these to meet the students' needs. So therefore, family of instrument in which teaching behaviors are performed apart from the learner's behavior. The learner is somewhere else. You are teaching somewhere else. So therefore, the learner is learning. Therefore, he talked about like that. Then, because there are many definitions, Doherman defined distance education as a systematically organized form of self-study. So now it is organized in such a way that you are doing your own study. No teacher is there. For example, this is opposite of your scaffolding. Vygotsky talks about scaffolding. That means assistance from the adult. But here, you are managing. You are adult. You are managing on your own. Nobody is there to help you. You have your understanding. You are mature. Sometimes as and when you find difficulty, we have the counseling classes, you can get clarification, but not 100% time the teacher is made available physically. So therefore self-study, in which the student counseling, just like this is counseling, the presentation of learning materials and securing and supervising student success, all these are going on in the distance education. So these are the characteristics of distance education according to government. For example, you have 30% weightage is given to your assignment, 70% term and examination. Now, when you submit your in time, when you submit your assignment and the experts, they go through your assignments and they give some comments. We call it tutor comment. For example, the tutor may underline, oh, these are the lines you have lifted from that material, so be original. These are this is the context where you could have given example. These are the comments given. So if you want to get more grade, so you should do like this. You should give a conclusion. You should use your own language. Now, after being verified by the expert, now that your assignment with the tutor comment will be sent back to you. You will go through that. Much ahead of your term and examination, you will go through that tutor comment. Oh, this is my, had I given here example, it would have better, for it would fetch more mark. Oh, no, there is no conclusion I will give. Now, in the next time, when you are going to your term and examination, you are practicing and therefore you are getting good marks. Similarly, Peter defines distance education as a method of imparting knowledge. You are giving knowledge, imparting knowledge or skills or attitudes, which is rationalized by the application of division of labor and organization of principle. Why it is division of labor? That means, for example, a group of experts are there, they are your counselor. There is another group of people, they are writers. There is another team of work, they are the production manager, they are producing. So there are different divisions, there are different works they will be managing. Similarly, Hamburg defines distance education as the kind of education which covers the various forms of study at all levels which are not under continuous limit. There are different forms of study, maybe formal, maybe informal, maybe non-formal. So when we talk about that, when the students have when the student has left formal, you must accommodate him. So therefore, it should be taken care of. Another is your Keegan. So he said, he had given a very comprehensive definition of distance education. These are the characteristics he talked about. This is more important. What are the characteristics of the distance education? One is permanent separation of teacher and learner throughout the length of the learning process. Unlike your formal system, in your formal system, we have 100% teacher-student physical face-to-face classroom situation. The teacher and student, they are interacting, but that doesn't happen in case of distance education. Therefore, quasi means partly permanent separation. Sometimes the teacher is not there. Most of the times in distance education, the teacher is not there. For example, you are doing B.Ed. So you are attending your counseling classes for 5 to 10 days or something like that. Not 100 days. So quasi. The influence of, second is the influence of an education organization both in the planning and preparation. So planning, your how many days the counseling, in which month, who are the experts, all these are planning. Because we want quality education. The use of technical media, print media, already I have told you, multimedia. Distance education is otherwise known, it uses multimedia or family of instruction methods. Then provision of two-way communication. Yes, this is more important. In your formal system, there is two-way communication. Teaching is a two-way communication. Learning classroom situation is a two-way communication. That transaction. The teacher teaches. The students, if the students have failed to understand, they can ask question to clarify their doubt. In case of your formal system, in case of your distance education, because the teacher is physically away from the learner. For example, we are not meeting each other. On online, we are talking about physically, not in a face-to-face mode. We are talking about 5 days, 7 days. Therefore, how can we make it two-way communication? Through your assignment, through your teleconferencing, over phone, over video, like that. Then, was a permanent absence of learning group through, yes, learning. You do not know, for example, there are 10 to 15 students. You do not know that student doesn't know you. But in the formal classroom situation, when you are sitting in a classroom, we know each other, like that. Then, there are different terms used in the context of your distance education. For example, non-formal education. So neither formal nor informal. For example, informal means no rigidity. Formal means some kind of formality. For example, you may not attend the class from 10 to 4, but attending classes is a requirement. For example, as per your convenience, from 6 to 8, from 9 to 11. There is no compulsory of attendance. Attendance is not a compulsory. Like that. De-schooling. For the first time, Ivan Illich had talked about de-schooling. De-schooling doesn't mean that there will be no school. De-schooling means the way the school is running, the way the school has been functioning, should be stopped. The school is not a shop. The dokan bikri hochi. School is not like that. Gyana bikri honi. So the student should develop himself or herself by experiencing. Therefore, the education system should be like that. Similarly, correspondence education I have told you. Then open education already I have told you. Open means open entry, open courses. For example, in our formal system, if you are doing science, physics, PCM, physics, mathematics. If you are doing arts, history, economics, politics, these are the grouping. But just like in Western countries, these kind of combinations are not there. The learner will learn. Why are you making all these combinations? Similarly, in open university, open education system, not distance education system, combination like this is not there. The learner is free to choose any. For example, I can take physics, I can take economics, I can take history, like that. That openness. Therefore, there are other terms for already I have told you there are other terms for your open education like home study. You are in the home, you are studying. Independent study, you are not depending on your teacher. Off campus, there is no campus. For example, somebody may ask you, Tarulata, you are a student. Lipika, Pragya, Sai, you are all students of IGNOU BED IGNOU. Which is the college? No, we have no college. Only online. Only we have the regional center. Like that. You have no campus. There is no building, something like that. No, there is no classroom. External study outside. Then extramural study we are giving. Somebody is coming and telling, like that. University without walls. There is no classroom, like that. So these are the different concepts which we are making use of for distance education. Now, basic reason for your distance education is that distance education or open education provides lifelong education. For example, you are doing BEd, also you are serving. After doing BEd, you can do MA education through IGNOU. After doing MA education, but you are working. After doing MA education, then you can go for PhD. After doing PhD, you can do other work. For example, there are many other courses, very good courses of IGNOU. Creative writing. You are all teachers. For example, you want to improve your writing. How can I write creatively? How can I evaluate properly, there are different courses. For example, if you are working in the colleges, there are different courses like diploma in distance education, postgraduate diploma in distance education, postgraduate diploma in higher education. If you are working as a school teacher, then how to write creatively, how to assess my learners effectively, how to use my leisure. There are many courses you can attend, you can do, so that you can improve upon, provided you have your interest. So that once you feel that my B.Ed is completed, my course is completed, no, it is not like that. Lifelong education means it is throughout your life. So therefore, we must not discontinue till the death. If one is interested, then you can learn. Now, we have talked about different theories of distance education. In brief, I can say it is given in your page 64, table 2.1. For example, Murray, he talked about independent study. Distance is a function of dialogue and individualization. Dialogue means discussion, not only the dialogue between teacher and student. Dialogue means when you are reading the material, for example, this is the material for distance education. This is the material. Now, when you are reading the material, you find that this line is difficult for you. Now you are asking, oh, this is the line, what can it be? You are talking to your material, self-initial material. Then you are looking here and there, what is the concept? What is it? So that is your dialogue. Individualization. Individual, that means you are reading according to your own pace. If you are working as not as a teacher, you are working in the company. Your company runs from morning 8 to night. So you have no time, only Sunday and Saturday. 2 days holiday. So you can engage. But you are working as a teacher. After 4 or 5, every day, 6 to 8 evening, night time, 6 to 8, I can devote for my study. Like that. Similarly, Peter, he talked about individualized, industrialized form of teaching. Why it is industrialized? There is division of labor, mass production. We are producing for the mass of students, many students. Systematization. There are different step-by-step proceeding. Structure of building. You can build, organize the different parameters, the different components. All these are there. So these theories can help us in understanding the system of distance education. I will not go too deep. And for example, the theory of industrialization of teaching. How can you make the teaching industrialization? When you are teaching, you are using different media. For example, video, mass media. Who will prepare? You are not preparing. Some experts who are experts in the field of media, they are preparing, and you are using. So therefore, it is a kind of the work of industrialization. Similarly, there are different characteristics of industrialization. Division of labor, only I told you. Mass production, I will tell you. Systematization of work procedure like planning, like formalization procedure. Formalization procedure means who will do what, who will do at what time. Then standardization product, that means 60%, 70%, A grade, B grade, how can, like that. Then mechanization, which has implication for social and ethics. For example, you are getting education, but if being educated, if the society is not accepting you, then they will suspect the kind of education provided by your distance education, open education system is not good. So therefore, it should be qualitatively quite good. Also, sometimes distance education, the theorists, they talk about distance education in terms of guided didactic conversation. Guided didactic conversation. When there is conversation between teacher and student, so it may be real, it may be simulated, artificial. Real means Through correspondence education, it can be real. Through your telephone, we can talk about your problem. Through your personal, during the contact program now, contact program, personal. Simulated artificial means internalized conversation through study of text. Try to understand. You are guiding yourself. How? When you are reading the material, you are asking yourself the sentence you have read and what is about the meaning of that concept. What does it mean? You are also trying to understand yourself, nobody else. Also, semblances of conversation affected by the conventional style of course writer. Sometimes the course writers they try to maintain a style and they want to speak something. So when you read that, you can also understand that. Also, sometimes there are many theories, but another important theory is theory of equivalency of learning experiences. Theory of equivalency of learning experience. What is that? The theoretical analysis of this is virtual education, open education, however, have not yet been addressed by the literature. In each virtual education, interactive, live, televised instruction, like that. So therefore, we can say the equivalence approach to distance education advocates a design providing for a collection of equivalent learning experiences for distance and local learning. Equivalent means whether you are a distant learner, whether you are a local learner, non-distant learner, whatever learning experiences will be provided, that will be equal. Not that you are a distant learner, low quality learning, is a local, best quality. No, equivalence will be maintained. So in terms of learning. Then evaluating another theory is theory of reintegration of teaching and learning acts. Again, you are integrating. The inter-subjectivity of teacher and learner in which learning from teaching occurs has to be artificially recreated. Whatever has been done by the teacher, again it will be created so that the student can understand better. Out of these theories, no one theory is best or worst. If you look the different theories we have talked about, then we can say most of the theories they talked about independent. They talked about independent study. They talked about the division of labor. They talked about industrialized form of education, like that. So this is all about, in nutshell, your second unit. Then most important is we are all in India. In Indian context, what is about our distance education system? So therefore, the unit 3 is Indian experiences. Already I have told you what make the Indian people, what make the Indians to accept this distance education system. The fabric is, the basic idea is democratization of education. What is that democratization? All should have equal opportunity for education. It is based on Article 45 of the Constitution, also 21. Because of the amendment of 21, RT Act has come. What does your Article 45 say? Article 45 says that the state shall make all endeavor to provide free and compulsory education to all the school-going children in the age group of 6 to 14, irrespective of caste, color, creed. That means there is no disparity. Whether you belong to any group, you should be provided education. So therefore, if all are to be educated, if all will be provided education, can our formal system accommodate all the numbers? Definitely not. Therefore, what we can say is, whenever the people are interested for education, and our formal system has failed to accommodate. Those who have not been accommodated, they will be given education. In what way? So through your open education. Therefore, open school or open university system in India came into being. Now, for example, if you already I have talked to you, for the first time in India, the open university was started in Andhra Pradesh. Now it is known as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Also, we have our IGNOU system. Now, this IGNOU, which the preamble of IGNOU Act 1985 says introduction. What does it say? Introduction and promotion of open university and distance education system in the education pattern of the country. Our country, Indian education, India has its own education pattern. It has its own aim. So according to that, we can also do. Our aim will be like that. But the organized system will be something different. Now, what is the present system, present scenario of open education system in our India? Now, it is state level. Now, at the national level, we have Indira Gandhi National Open University at Maidan Gadi, New Delhi. But at the state level, we can say Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad, Nalanda Open University, Patna, Kota Open University, Kota, Rajasthan, Jaswant Rao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University, Maharashtra, Nasik, then Bhuj University Open University, Bhopal, Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Karnataka State Open University, Mysore, Netaji Subhash Bose Chandra Open University, Kolkata, UP Rajarsi Tandon Open University, Allahabad, Tamil Nadu Open University, Chennai, Pandit Sundarlal Sharma Open University, Bilaspur, Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani, Nainital, Krishnakant Handike State Open University, Guwahati, Odisha State Open University, Sambalpur. So these are the different open universities at the state level. So different states have taken initiative to have these universities so that those who have not been educated, those who have not been accommodated in the process of the state education system, they will be given the opportunity. At the national level, we have the IGNOU system. Now, that is how that IGNOU is working, you must know because you are a student of that. So you must know how Indira Gandhi National Open University is working. So this is given in table 3.1. Now this IGNOU, Indira Gandhi Open University has 21 schools like School of Sociology, Social Science, School of Natural Science, School of Education, School of Law, like that. Then similar division distance education, like that. Division 12 divisions, chairs 5, centers 8. There means like pro VC like that. Then institute 5, regional centers 67. In Odisha, we have 3 regional centers. In India, we have 67 regional centers. Teachers and academics 538. These are the approved. Administrative personnel 1,300. You can read all this. PhD programs also it is going on. This is the upload study materials. 95% students get it. Audio program, volumes of course materials, degrees, diplomas awarded. By 2011, 1.5 million people have been given degrees. Then free education for prisoners, those who are in the prison, jail, they are given free education. So about 4,110 jails in India. 4,110 jail ଅଛି ସେଠି ଯୋଉମାନେ କଏଦୀ ଅଛନ୍ତି, those who are interested for education, they are given free education, like that. So this is what is about the IGNOU and university? Also, we have open schooling. University are for college students and schooling, open schooling for the students. Now, in August 1974, a working group was appointed by NCERT, National Council for Ethical Research and Training, New Delhi, to explore the possibility of setting up the open schools. Whether we should go, India should have the system of open school or not. Therefore, under the chairmanship of NCERT, a working group was established. In November 1978, CBSE and the NCERT organized an international seminar on open schooling. So, for all these reasons, we have now national open schools. National open schools like that. Why is national open school? What are the objectives? The major objective, the major objective of national open school is to provide opportunities for continuing and development education to the interested learners. Those who are interested, for example, after class 7, class 6, you have left the school. Now you want to continue, you want to upgrade. I will be a matriculate. Now you are interested, so you can do. Then National Open School can help you. Learners through the courses and programs of general education, life enrichment modules. For example, life enrichment module. For example, you are a housewife. How can you cook better? How can you take care of your children better? Courses are there. You can make life enrichment programs, vocational courses. You are working as a carpenter. You are working as an engineer. Working as a telecommunication department. You can improve. So therefore, the National Open School offers a number of programs at different levels. So what are the levels? For example, bridge course. What is that? For those who have completed class 5. Those who have completed class 5, they want to further their education. Then for them, bridge course, short course, bridge course, secondary courses, senior secondary courses, vocational and life enrichment courses for others. Therefore, the NOS, National Open School, adopts print-based material, printed, not like your book, print-based materials, audio, video materials, and PCP, personal contact programs as components of instruction. These are the three components of instruction. What are those? Print-based material, audio, video material, and PCP, personal contact program. It has more than accredited institutions all over the country. Accreditation, they are recognized like that. So this is how we have our open schooling system. By 2009, by 2006, the National Institute of Open Schooling, we have like this, the largest open schooling system in the world with cumulative enrollment. Now in the world, our Indian system of open schooling is the largest one, having 2.78 million. वर्तमान हमारे इंडिया रे ये जो हमरो नेशनल ओपन स्कूल है 2,78,000 पिला ना लगे चंती 3.30 million learners have been certified in the secondary से पास कर चंती 3,30,000 more than 5,52,000 learners were admitted during the 2014-15. वर्तमान 2014-15 let's check 2014-15 कितने पिला ना लेके चलती 5,52,000. So this is how a large number of students who are aspiring for education for some reason, they have been accommodated. Therefore, National Open School, Institute of Open Schooling, is providing the access to the education of a large number of people. Similarly, teacher education. The Education Commission 64, 66. Can any one of you tell me what is the other name of Education Commission 64, 66? Ki koibo? Lipika. Right. Huh?
Commission.
Kothari Commission. Now, what are the first sentence of Kothari Commission? प्रथम ধাপটা কোন ছিল? The destiny of India is being shaped in its classroom. ଭାରତର ଭାଗ୍ୟ ତାର ଶ୍ରେଣୀ ପ୍ରକୋଷ୍ଠରେ ତିଆରି ହେଉଛି। କିଏ କରୁଛି? ନା ଶିକ୍ଷକ। କାହା ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ? ନା ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ। That means the teacher should be imaginative. The teacher should think of a better India or a greater India through the students. Why? The students of today are the citizens of tomorrow. When you become a citizen, may not be a minister, may not be a teacher, may be a cultivator, may be a shopkeeper, may be a non-working man. But if you have virtues, if you are value-based, if you are a man of integrity, then people will salute you and India will progress. For example, you take the case of your Anna Hazare. Anna Hazare, what is the formal education? Class 6 or 7. He was in the defense, truck driver, in the defense. But the whole India, even Kiran Bedi, your then Chief Minister of Kejriwal, they salute. Why? Because of his integrity, because of his vision, because of his commitment, like that. That kind of man is educated, like that. Anyhow, so on the basis of Education Commission recommended and the UGC delegation report, therefore subsequently NCERT started correspondence courses in 1967 to provide BEd. So as early as 1967, NCERT on the basis of the recommendation of UGC or your Kothari Commission, BEd courses through correspondence courses. For example, you are working as an elementary school teacher. You have done BA-CT or BA-DLD. In those days, it was CT, certified teacher. Now you want to do BEd, you can get BEd, you can do BEd. So we call it crash program. In the summer vacation, 2 or 3 summer vacations, you will come, attend the classes, because you are working as a teacher, you have no time, you have no leave. So only during the vacation, it will be going on. Anyhow, similarly, beside the BEd program, now you know who is the regulatory committee of a BEd training courses nowadays? NCT, National Council for Teacher Education. That is the regulatory autonomous body to see the quality of teacher education in India. Therefore, National Council of Teacher Education guidelines are there, and if you do not follow those guidelines, then you cannot make a BEd college. For example, sometimes as an expert, as a member of NCT, I have visited Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, many places. So there are guidelines. For example, minimum teachers 8, pedagogy wise. 2 English, pedagogy of English 1, pedagogy of Odia, there is no Odia, Hindi 1, and then your science 1, physical science 1, biological science 1, social science 1, geography 1, so like that. Then education studies, philosophy, psychology, like that. If these are not there, then your institution will be derecognized. These are stipulations like that. Besides the BEd program, also there is MEd program. There was, now MEd is not there, through your correspondence course or through your distance education. MEd programs have also been offered through the correspondence or distance education mode. Which universities? Andhra, Annamalai, Himachal Pradesh, Kurukshetra, Madurai, Kamaraj, Osmania, Punjab, Kota, and IGNOU. So these are the universities, they are offering BEd. Now MEd is stopped. Like that. Also there are different diplomas. Now, what are the different problems of open universities or distance education system? Dual mode universities. For example, your open university that did not have any colleges, something like that as formal. For example, Kendrapada College. For example, BJP College. Is there any college where your distance education university working? It is working along the traditional system. So in BJP college there is a study center of IGNOU. In Kendrapada there is a study center. In Ravenshaw University there is a study center, IGNOU center. In Kolikot there is a study center. So they are conducting the assessment evaluation system. They are doing your counseling work, something like that. You are submitting your assignment to the study center. But therefore, those have dual system. One is traditional, another is your distance mode. So that is therefore to manage the two systems is very difficult. This is one. Second is who are the people working there? The people, for example, the head of the study center of IGNOU in a particular institution is your program coordinator. If the number is more than 500, assistant program coordinator. But they are from your conventional system. They are not from your what happens in case of your IGNOU regional center or IGNOU headquarter, you have your employees, open employee. But in BJP, in Ravenshaw, in Bhadrak, in Baleswar, in Maripata, in Sambalpur, they are doing dual work. They are doing for their work. They are getting salary for their college. They are getting some extra remuneration for your open education. So this is a challenging task. So therefore, students who had to discontinue their formal education owing to peculiarity and other circumstances, they can be given. Then problems are challenge. A common major challenge pertaining to dual mode of university in India is that the distance education units in these universities lack complete autonomy. Yes, there is no freedom in matters of policy planning. Second is another single mode universities, only open education. What is the problem? This open distance education has played an historical role in contributing to the development of human resources. But hardly those human resources are adequate to meet the challenges of education in the system. Another problem is your access. Can we accommodate all the people who are interested for education? Any courses? It is also a challenge. Can we accommodate? Can you have the physical facilities, instruction facilities? That is also a challenge. So this is all about your third unit. Then last unit. That is your, we have talked about first unit was about history. Second unit about theory on the basis of which we have developed distance education. Third unit was about Indian experiences, national experiences. Fourth is global practices all over universe, throughout the universe, globally. How this open and distance education has been seen. For example, the International Council for Open and Distance Education. International, there is a council at the international level. The International Council for Correspondence Education was founded in 1938 in Canada, which has been renamed. Now it is again the name is changed, renamed as International Council for Distance. That means the International Council for Correspondence Education, which was established in 1938 in Canada, the name is changed from Correspondence Education to Distance Education Council. And later as the International Council for Open and Distance. First was correspondence education, then distance education, then International Council for Open and Distance Education. Open and Distance Education. This it is supported by the Norwegian Ministry of Education and Research and its membership, like that. This council is the leading global membership organization for the open and distance education system, like that. Currently, at present, International Council for Distance Education member network has 156 institutional members, including open universities, 90 individuals and 20 associate members. Now, these are the membership of this International Council for open and distance education system. This is officially affiliated to UNESCO, United Nations Education and Scientific Culture Organization, in a category A, international non-governmental relations. So like that. So this ICD, International Council for Distance Education, derives its position from the unique knowledge and experience of its own members throughout the world. But because the members are from the different countries throughout the world, universe. Therefore, the members of different countries, they share their own experiences, their failures, something like that. We can take this talk of their strengths and weaknesses. You must have known, as many times we adopt this SWOT analysis. SW. S means strength. W means weaknesses. O means opportunity. T means SWOT. T means threats. So when you are working for a particular institution, for a particular system, there are opportunities, there are threats, there are weaknesses, there are strengths, good points, bad points. Sometimes it is not possible. So when you analyze, that can help you to progress, to make further of that institution. ICD means International Council for Distance Education. The key activities include, what are the activities of ICD, which has global concern. The activities are organization of its meeting. It will organize meeting and conferences such as the biennial World Conference, annual 2 times, the annual standing conferences of presidents and regional conferences, and at the initiative of a member institution. So these are the conferences, training meetings. The first World Conference of this council was held in Victoria, BC in 938. For various practical reasons, it could not hold the subsequent one. So due to some reason, the further conferences were not held like that. Since 1999, the ICD has sought to recognize outstanding achievement in open and distance education through the prize. Also, it is providing prize, it is also getting prize of excellence like that. Another is the common, we are talking about the open and distance education system at the international level. Now, Commonwealth learning, COL, Commonwealth of Learning. The Commonwealth of Learning is an international organization established by Commonwealth governments in September 1988. What is the purpose of this Commonwealth of Learning? To create and widen access to education. So, to create and widen access to, for example, sometimes for the poor countries, we can provide educational facilities, educational funds like that. Education for the betterment of the education of the children, elementary school children. Second objective is to improve its quality, utilizing distance education techniques and associated. So now, how the quality of distance education be improved? That is also another task of your call. Then facilitating the channeling of resources to project, how to take up the project or different programs in distance education. Then development of institutional capacity in distance education, providing information and consultancy. Sometimes whenever, for example, you are going to do some work related to distance education. In India, for example, or in any country, if the experts are not available, then you can take the help of the consultancy of your COL, Commonwealth of Learning. Providing, undertaking and supporting evaluation, how to evaluate, what should be the criteria, what should be the objective, what should be the outcome, what are the standards, assisting the acquisition and delivery of teaching materials, how the teaching will take place in the classroom system. Gone are the days when the teacher was contented by just vomiting or just by dictating. No, nowadays the students are not happy with that. So you have to make use of different locally available resources, also multimedia, keeping in mind the interest and the interest of the students, keeping in mind the level of the students, like that. Then commissioning and promoting the adoption development of academic credit. Now, how one who has passed a particular course and left for that country, from India to Pakistan or from America, how that credit will be transferred to America. That it is also taken care of. Assisting in the development of local support services to the students. Whatever services are available in that locality. For example, in Kendrapada, what is available may not be available in Turkey. What is available in Punjab may not be available in Kashmir. So the point is, whatever is available at the local level, how that can be best capitalized, that is to be considered. Stimulating and supporting any other activities. Stimulating and supporting any other activities that fall within the agency's areas of interest by such means as may be approved. There is a board of governors. Then that will approve what are the activities to be undertaken, so that the quality of distance education can be maintained. That board can do. Similarly, there are different regional associations related to open and distance education at the international level. What are those? For example, African Council for Distance Education. In Africa, it is there. Now, it is a continental educational organization comprising African universities and other higher education institutions which are committed to the expanding access to quality education and training through open distance learning, including e-learning. So, through this African Council for Distance Education, the different materials are produced to maintain the quality of education, like that. Similarly, Asian Association of Open University. What is the purpose? To widen the educational opportunities available to the people of the region, ASEAN region, and to improve the cost effectiveness of member insurance. That means, if individually a particular country, there are many Asian countries. For example, India. For example, Pakistan. For example, Bangladesh. For example, West Indies. All ASEAN. If you put your hands together, 5 to 7 countries, and share your cost and develop materials, and you use all interchangeably, then it will be less cost effective. Then, to help promote education by distance teaching system. That means how, by using the different media, multimedia, we can make the teaching effective. We can think of that. To help promote professional ethical standards among distance educators. Those people who are teaching in the field of distance education, if they are not professionally competent, if you are not up to date, if you do not know what is happening at present in the context of distance education, you cannot teach well. You cannot become a good educator in the field of distance education. Also, you must have ethical standard. Those educators who are in the field of distance education, they must not practice any corruption. So, non-corrupt practice should be found among those educators. So, this is the task of your Asian Association of Open University, to cooperate with official bodies and others directly or indirectly interested in education at a distance. That means, those people, either individual or association, if they are interested for any aspect of distance education, either research or development of material, any like that, they can also take the help of this cooperation of this, to facilitate cooperation with other similar regional and international bodies. This is one Asian region. So American, European, if there are some regions, you can also combine, you can also collaborate. You can make a networking, so that we can have better insight into the field of distance education. to do all other things incidental or conducive to the attainment of the above. So all these objectives can be achieved when we are doing in a very cooperative way, collaborative way, and we are it is very healthy situation. Similarly, another council is there in Australia. It is known as Australian Council on Open Distance and E-Learning System. E-learning. So the purpose of this council is, what is the council? Australian Council on Open Distance and E-Learning. Disseminating and sharing knowledge and experience. So you must disseminate, you must contribute, you must share your experiences, your learning with other countries or among your members, supporting professional development and providing networking opportunity. Professional development, how can you become a teacher, how can you become an engineer, and whatever experience you have, you can also, through your network, you can tell other countries these are the benefits of these courses. Investigating, developing and evaluating new approaches. There may be some new approaches in the field of your distance education. Now you can make research. Also, you can assess to what extent those practices approaches are good. If they are good, it must be recommended to other countries. Advising and influencing key bodies in higher education, because this is a council. This is a council. There are other academic bodies like universities, like social organizations. So you can also make cooperation, collaboration with them. Promoting best practices. How can you know which is the best practice? Through evaluation, through feedback, what the people say. Therefore, those best practices, innovative practices, so to speak, must be popularized, must be taken care of. Another association is your European Association of Distance Teaching Universities, European countries. The European Association of Distance Teaching Universities was established on 23rd January 1987 by the principles of European major distance teaching institution. So the basic mission was developing and sustaining sector leadership at national European level. So at the European level, different European countries, the leadership quality will be developed, fostering the development of open and flexible higher education. So that now they want to foster how more and more number of distance and open university or education system will be there. That is also the target. Supporting the extension of learning opportunity and student mobility. Now the student can do one course, then he should not stop doing this course. Also he can go to other courses. So it should be continuous. Therefore, it was also like that. Then Open Distance Learning Association of Australia, it is also another one. The purpose is to advance the research, practices and support of education across time and space. Across time means past, present, what was there, you can do better. What was the system of distance education yesterday may not be same because the time is changing. So in the changing context, you must think of different systems to continuously engage, support and develop the learning community. Those who are the community, the learning community, they must know what is going on, what are the new arrivals in the field of distance education, so that they should be made aware. To become the learning communities association, that means all the learning people, they will be the members of this association. Then another is your United States Distance Learning Association. United States Distance Learning Association. The United States Distance Learning Association was founded in 1987 on the premise of creating a powerful alliance to meet the bourgeois education and training needs of learning community via new concepts. That means those who are depressed people, for them, for the interest of the depressed people, poor people, suppressed people, those who do not have access to education, very poor, for them, how they can be educated, that was the main purpose. The learning communities like higher education, continuing education, corporate training, military and government training, homeschooling, television, they are the members of that association. Now, another is your accreditation agencies. That means giving recognition. Global model. Mane at the international level, what are the agencies which are giving recognition to the distance education system? Those who are which are making accreditation to the different model open systems. Global model. The ICD, what is that ICD? International Council for Distance Education Report Service. International Council for Distance Education Report Service cover the quality standard models with the intention to address the quality. Because we cannot make compromise with the quality. No one can say that it is less quality, the quality of distance education is less than the quality of formal education. So therefore, we have to maintain the quality. So therefore, it reviews international quality standards model and illustrate that there are models that require performance assessment of 20 to 30 times. So many times you have to make some kind of evaluation, others in excess of 100. The review indicate that concept of quality can be applied at macro means large number, macro national or international, meso means institutional, and micro means individual practice levels. So this is how you can make accreditation. Also, it has been stated, US experience, what is the experience? It has been said, some of the most accrediting agencies recognized by the United States, America, United States Department of Education include MSA, Middle States Commission on Higher Education. This is one of the accrediting committee. NASC, Northwest Association of School and of Colleges and Universities. NCA, Higher Learning Commission of North Central Region. NESSC, New England Association of School and Colleges. SSCS, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. WASC, Western Association of Schools and Colleges. All these are the different accreditation committees. Now, we have different practices like UK and Indian. Now, let us take the case of Indian experience. How we are giving accreditation. The Indian in India, the university UGC. In India, the UGC, a statutory body set up by the central government in 1956, is responsible for the coordination, promotion, and maintenance of standards of teaching, examination, research in the institution of higher education. That means in India, the quality of higher education is being determined by the guidelines given by University Grants Commission. In 1987, the All India Council for Technical Education was, this is for technical education, like that, like your medical, like your agriculture, like that. So similarly, National Board of Accreditation, it was established in 1990, and it is mandatory for all technical institutions in India to get accredited by NBE. Similarly, for example, our professional education, NCT, National Council of Teacher Education. So, in India, the accreditation of open and distant learning institution is not done by NAC. For higher education, NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Committee. The headquarters is at Bangalore, but IGNOU is not coming under that. Indira Gandhi National Open University, which was mandate to promote and maintain the standard of distance education, established Distance Education Council in 1990. So this Distance Education Council in India, that is making regulation for the quality of your open and distance education system. So, in portions of the direction issued by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Department of Higher Education, Government of India, the regulatory function from 2012, the regulatory function with regard to the distance education programs in higher education have now been vested with university education. Now, Government of India has in the Department of Higher Education, that is your Human Resource Development, has vested to the University Grants Commission. Now, the quality of distance education will be determined by the UGC guideline. The Distance Education Council, which was the S2 regulator of the distance education program, has been dissolved. Now it is not working. Which one is not working? The Distance Education Council, and all regulatory functions are being undertaken by the UGC through Distance Education Bureau. There is a distance in the UGC. There is a Distance Education Bureau. Now that Distance Education Bureau, which is a component part of your UGC, that is taking care of the regulatory system of your quality of distance education. Similarly, in Africa, it is there, and how it is to be accredited. Similarly, in America, Canada, it is also there. So every country has its own system of accreditation. For example, you take the case of Bangladesh, which is a very undeveloped country. Now, they have, for example, being convinced of the relevance of distance education to the country's education need. Now, Bangladesh government is convinced that open and distance and open education system is a good system. It has some relevance. Bangladesh Institute of Distance Education, that is BED, Bangladesh Institute of Distance Education was established in 1985 under the Ministry of Education, which replaced the NIMTE, National Institute of Education Management Training. Now, some of the important programs launched by Bangladesh, the Institute of Distance Education are, what are the programs? Bachelor's education course for BEd, regular broadcast and video for school teachers, broadcasting, then support to primary teacher training, then primary education for pre-services. So these are the different programs being undertaken by Bangladesh Institute of Distance Education, like that. Similarly, China has your China Central Radio and Television University, that is the university, also Open University of China, then Credit Bank of China, the Open University of older adults. These are the different systems of which regulate the distance education system in China. Similarly, Hong Kong, the Open University of Hong Kong is there. It is there. Now, in India, distance education in India has been dealt with the we have talked about in greater detail. Indonesia also, it has its own regulatory system, like University of Terbuka. It is there. Then in Iran, it is also there. Israel, Japan, every country has its own system. In Australia also its system. There are many countries. Every country has its own regulatory system. For example, German, the German Democratic Republic enter a new stage of social development around 1976, when education was expected to be the productive phase. Before 1976, in German, education was not treated as a productive system. Now, because after 1976, education was considered as a productive system. Now, they are giving more emphasis on education. So therefore, distance education also. Similarly, Italy, Netherlands, Russia, Norway, like that. So therefore, we have different regulatory system to control, to govern the quality of distance education system. Therefore, we have mega open university. For example, in table 4.1, those universities are given China to be university system. Similarly, France, Center of National D and Enseignement Distance. India, IGNOU. Indonesia, Terbuka, Iran, Payamanur University, Korea National Open University, South Africa, University of South Africa, Spain, Universidad Nacional de Educación, Thailand, Sukhothai, Thamatirat Open University. It is their own language. Turkey, Anadolu University, UK, the Open University. So all these are the different universities, that are big universities. That is your mega open university in different countries. Now, the different significant practices we find in your open education system is course team. You know that unless the course team is there, one team will be taking care of production. One team will take care of your mass production. One team will take care of the video, audio. One team will take care of writing. So when all these are put together, then the course of distance education will be very effective. Therefore, innovative courses, there are basic functional courses that in addition to offering some conventional programs, Alam Iqbal Open University, that is Iraq. Alam Iqbal Open University provides basic functional courses for the illiterates and semi-literates, technical vocational courses, then MEd, like that. So these are the different courses given by those universities. Then teaching science and technology of IGNOU. We must be more concerned with this. IGNOU. Already I have told you, deploying dairy. What are the science-related courses in IGNOU? You must know it. Diploma in dairy technology, diploma in fish product technology, diploma in meat technology, diploma in value-added products from fruits and vegetables, diploma in value-added products from cereals, pulses and oilseeds, bachelor as well as master computer application, bachelor of library and information sciences, BSc nursing, postgraduate diploma in food safety and quality management, postgraduate diploma in geriatric medicine, postgraduate diploma in HIV medicine, postgraduate diploma in hospital and health management, certificate in energy technology and management, certificate in information technology, certificate in newborn in infant nursing, and certificate in sericulture. So these are the different. Just see how many courses related to science. These are related science have been instituted by IGNOU New Delhi because keeping in mind the demands of the people, and also it is the time sequence. It is the time bound program. So therefore these have been like that. Also a Bachelor of Science program like BSc General Science is a degree. Then the BSc Major degree in Botany, Chemistry, Mathematics, Physics, Zoology. The Master's program in Mathematics with application in Computer Science. These are also PG Diploma in Analytical Chemistry, Diploma in Aquaculture, Certificate program in Laboratory Techniques. So these are the different courses which IGNOU is offering because of the greater demands of the people from different corners. So people in the field of science, they want to improve, upgrade their knowledge. Therefore, it is this is your given. So therefore, IGNOU is taking care of the situation, is taking the stock of the situation. What is the what courses are demanded by the people? So this is all about in nutshell for your understanding about the block 1, that is your open and distance education genesis evolution. So tomorrow at this time we will talk about those who are the learners of the distance education system. What kind of materials will be made available to them so that they can learn? So how can the distance educator teach the distance learners? So tomorrow we will talk about. Is it okay? Or any question, any query? If you want to ask, you feel free to ask. Any query or any clarification? Otherwise, we will wind up the session. Should we close the session or any question from your side? Lipika, Sarveswara, Sai, Kiramanjali, Dari, Pragya. Any question? No? Yes or no? So that I can close this session. Okay, thank you very much. Tomorrow we will be meeting by this time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.